Want to know why? Ask how. Howard the Humongous. The Wall Street Journal has published a story that may explain many of the mysteries of the war against Hamas in Gaza. The journal reveals something the Israelis are keeping secret. The Israeli military has built 5 water pumps near the coastal al-Shati refugee camp in Gaza City and has been experimenting with flooding Hamas 310 miles of tunnels with water from the Mediterranean Sea. This would not be the first time this has been done. The Egyptians used this technique almost 10 years ago to flood tunnels built under the border between Hamas and Gaza by smugglers. But why is this particularly important now? Because that 310-mile military tunnel system is Hamas' secret weapon. It's what Ynet calls an underground city. It houses Hamas command and control centers. It has stores of fuel, water, weapons, ammunition, a ventilation system, and electrical generators. It allows Hamas terrorists to pop up out of nowhere, attack Israeli soldiers from the rear, then disappear from sight again and head for another spot where they can do what Muhammad himself demands. The prophet says in verse 9, chapter 5 of the Quran, "Slay the idolaters wherever you find them, and take them captives, and besiege them, and lie in wait for them in every form of ambush." Like the ambush that killed 9 Israeli soldiers Tuesday, December 12th, in the luxurious Shajaya neighborhood of Gaza City, where Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh used to live in luxury before he moved to Qatar. The tunnel system also allows Hamas rocket batteries to spring up in children's playgrounds, next to schools, next to mosques, next to hospitals, and next to crowded apartment buildings, and to fire hundreds of rockets a day at Israeli cities, then disappear again. Israeli soldiers have discovered more than 800 tunnel shafts in just the last 4 weeks. The tunnels are clustered under cities in Gaza, packed with civilians, under Gaza City, Khan Yunis, and Rafah. And that's the reason so many civilians are being killed. The tunnel system is deliberately built under hospitals, schools, mosques, UN facilities, and apartment buildings. Hamas' goal is to ensure that any attack will kill civilians and rouse the international community to loathe Israel, which means that to defeat and destroy Hamas, it's crucial to destroy the tunnels, while keeping civilian deaths at a minimum. But there is a problem. Part of Hamas' strategy is to use the residents of Gaza as human shields. Hamas is not bothered about putting civilians in harm's way. Every civilian death is a victory. Each civilian is a martyr and goes directly to paradise, which is why militant Muslims say, "We love death more than you love life." Not to mention, Islam is a tree that grows on severed limbs, and, quote, "the sacrifice of human beings for Allah is eternal." The flooding of the tunnels is still in a test stage, and its large-scale use has apparently not been decided. What's more, it's secret. Even the Times of Israel apparently knows about it because of the Wall Street Journal story. And Israel has other ways to attack the tunnels: airstrikes, liquid explosives, drones, and dogs. But the time to decide whether or not to use the pumps is short, and Israel will have to make up its mind fast. Israel is under intense pressure to bring back its 135 hostages still under Hamas's control, and some of those hostages seem to be in the tunnels. What's more, on Tuesday, December 12th, the United Nations demanded an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. In addition, the progressive press is working hard to demonize Israel. For example, the progressive site Truth Out reported on Tuesday that in Gaza, an Israeli soldier had taken shots at a pregnant woman outside of a hospital during a firefight. This is the sort of report designed to make Westerners hate Israel. And the Western press has been working hard to advance the Palestinian cause, a cause dedicated to a single proposition: eradicating every Jew on earth. That's genocide. But it's Israel's self-defense that is being called a genocide by the progressive press, despite the fact that Israel does something no other nation does. It drops leaflets telling the Palestinians what areas it intends to bomb so they can escape to safe territories. In other words, as White House National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said Wednesday, Israel is taking steps to protect civilians that even the United States would not have taken in similar circumstances. But there's a problem with asking Palestinians to go to safe areas. When Israel designates a safe area, that's where Hamas repositions its men and its rockets, which turns the civilians of Palestine into meat shields, despite Israel's attempts to protect them. This is Howard Bloom, speaking to you from the future. It's your job and my job to make. Or, want to know why? Ask how. And now for the off button.